Can you introduce spiral fracture and describe your sound in 3 words?
I would say epic, cerebral, and aggressive.
Yeah, I agree. I think especially the aggressiveness of the music is one of our greatest attributes.
Very cool.
And with the contrast with the clean vocals, and I think the cerebral part is a lot of the lyrics are very introspective, and I also believe that they can be taken more than one way, so that kind of leaves it to the listener to decide if it's talking to them or not, or which route that's going.
All right. So Allegiance deals with inner conflict, betrayal, and fractured identity. How did you approach writing such a dark and introspective song?
It's a combination of two things, I think. I mean, Dave's writing uh, gives me the opportunity to find a way to kind of write those kind of uh, lyrics that have that inner conflict and betrayal. But certainly, I have to approach it from a singer's point of view. I'm not sure about how you.
I feel like I kind of put him in a corner a bit. He's got to kind
Mm.
of, I always come up with the song first. And usually I'm kind of, kind of going off of what I'm feeling at the time when I'm putting these riffs together. A lot of times I feel like that song in particular goes through like a very aggressive empowerment to a very melancholy kind of feel, and then even a little bit of maybe hope involved in that song, just musically, and that's kind of I give him the soundscape, and then he has to fit
Right,
what he's feeling
exactly.
to that
Yeah.
those sounds. But he does a very good job of making that work, I believe.
The band draws inspiration from the Fibonacci spiral and explores the fractures of modern society. How does this concept influence your song writing?
Well, for the guitar, a lot of the riffs, they start off as riffs, and they kind of a lot of times I write the song around the initial riff. So there's a spiral and a pattern, and I don't, I like a lot of bands that do very, I guess what's the word, experimental and kind of not as uh, put together, or more abstract progressive stuff. For me, I do like going back to the verse chorus thing a lot. I feel like it's just you don't hear that a lot anymore, and I like having that pattern. And so I don't try to do the same exact pattern in each song, but I do like having kind of a pattern to build off of. Musically, that's for me. That's how that ties in. I don't know about your lyrics, but
It again, he kind of got hit it before, where being put in a corner with the music, having to have something that we can craft together from, that description that Dave pointedly put in with being cerebral. And so, if the music doesn't make you think, then we can take advantage of that by creating a concept of, grace and decay, and having that be the theme of the album, based on what society has put upon each of us as individual musicians. That fracture of society is what I think we try to really hit on.
With Grace in Decay coming soon, what has been the most rewarding part of creating this debut album?
well, for me, I would say the process was a little more. We were more meticulous this time, and it was actually honestly not one of the most exciting or fun experiences I've had recording. But we were trying to make sure everything was exactly right. And at the end of the day, when the product finally came back, I was just really blown away at how good it was. And just that was a relief in a way to be able to put that out,
Mm.
and it turned out more above the expectations that we had. So I think that's been the best thing is putting in all that work, and then seeing the actual, like, everything coming to fruition.
It was different. It was different for us doing this. It definitely had a lasting impact as to how we write music going forward. We had a chance to work with Ryan from Apollo Audio Alt and with our manager Scott. So we never had that before, kind of having a direction as to where we need to home in our sound. And typically that's something we just did here in our studio, and very closed off, and this is our thing and we control it. It's like, and so, but then we had to, in this instance, let all of that go and kind of just do the work, and then have someone else look at it and say, this is what they think it should be in terms of the ultimate final sound. I mean, obviously we had a lot of input into that, but having not having that control was very different for us, and having someone else do that work for us.
Your sound combines intense instrumentation with a soaring alto vocal. How do you approach merging these contrasting elements in your compositions?
We actually released a recording prior to this one. It was the first recording we had released with Javier, and I think we've had that experience to kind of figure out how we were going to meld his vocals in with our music, because it's definitely a big contrast, and we had to kind of figure out how to fit it in and make it work. And I think, being that we had a little bit of experience the first time around with it, I think, doing this and having all the extra help that we had this time that he mentioned, I think that really has helped us kind of figure out how to work that contrast to our advantage, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. The approach to the music and the singing was definitely unique for all of us in the band. They had, Spiral Fracture had been one kind of thing, and then when I came on board with Clean Vocals, I really had to find my way into the band so that my vocals could fit in the right places. And because of my own influences with prog music, it felt natural. And because Dave is such a prog monster himself, so it was easy to just kind of find that connection. So it went from the first album to developing that moment of connection, and then this one was more of, all right, we know what to do. Let's just try and really apply it to these songs, and I think it came out quite well at the end. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you.
All right.